if you're playing as a Dark Urge character, is you kick the shit out of a squirrel and splatter it all over a tree. And there is no player control over that. If you interact with that squirrel, you are booting it. Period.
It happens.
Welcome, everybody, to the Connoisseur Pod, your home for all things convention and nerd culture love. I'm AJ. I'm joined by co-host Cody, Kent, and the connoisseur himself, Matt. The pod just got back from their trip to the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention, and we'll all get into that soon. But why don't everybody tell me something nerdy they did this week? Cody, since I know what the other two did nerdy this week, what have you done?
Well, I was talking to Matt a little bit about my nerddom before we started. I'm always working on my fantasy football role-playing game. I told you I've been working on kickoffs and kickoff returns. It's a game that will probably come out in somewhere between 2 and 25 years from now. But you play as a little elf, a little dark elf, and it's a role-playing game. You level up, all that stuff. But the levels are football games, so the bosses are players on the other team. That's the general idea of it. But it's playable now. The story's not there. Player progression is just barely there. But it's fun to work on. It's my brain exercise right now. So that's my nerdy thing.
We've talked
Very
about
cool
that a good
nerdy
bit,
thing.
and you know how excited I am about it. I think that it's an excellent idea. I think that a lot of people interested in this pod would be extremely interested in that game.
Yeah, I'll I'm about 6 months into working on it, which is pretty cool because I've been pretty consistent about working on it. Sometimes I'll have 2 weeks in a row where I don't really progress. I'm just trying to fix a problem, which I think is fairly common in developers who don't know what the hell they're doing. I add something new within every couple of weeks. So I think in about 6 months, I'll be able to get a little bit of a reel together, and then maybe we can share it on the podcast.
I'm excited for that for sure. Kenyatta, why don't you go next?
All right, I've got a couple of questions on this. Does the con itself count? Well, first off, when does the week start? Like a week, like just from like 7 days, or like the start of this week?
Yeah, all of it. Anything that you've
Okay,
done
and does
nerdy,
the
let's call it 10
convention count?
days. Pod
Yeah,
week is 10 days.
I think if it happened to be 9 days ago, it still counts. Just
Yeah.
Okay.
it seems like you have something in mind, so let's go with that.
No, I was just wondering semantics because that's me. No,
For future reference,
I
I
don't
guess.
know anything particularly nerdy other than exist. But I had all sorts of BG3 juice in me from our recent trip. So I started a full Dark Urge run on Baldur's Gate 3. I'm barely into it, but I've already done some dark shit. That's about it.
As one should. So when you play dark, do you have to go against what your actual inclination is almost every time?
Well, the game gives you options. The game actually goes way darker than I'm like than I would be comfortable with, or any human being should. It makes sense in the storyline of the game. But it gives you the lean. It gives you every option to do the dark stuff. But personally, yeah, you've got to go. Like, I hate being mean to the companions. I didn't realize, I'm not going to spoil the game for anybody, but I didn't realize one of the very first things you can do as a Dark Urge character completely eliminates getting one of your companions. And instead you get a souvenir from them.
We love a good souvenir.
Like a toe.
A little bigger.
Yes, it's a sword or a staff when they die. That's what it sounds like you're saying. Okay, son, you wear it on a finger. I think it's okay to spoil a game. How long has it been out now? Like 2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years.
And I think, and anybody listening to this is more likely to have played it. I think we're okay.
Pretty sure.
That's true. Although
I
I didn't
mean, it's
realize
spoiling it for
I didn't
me.
realize that would happen. I had to Google it afterwards. Like, oh man, can I like doing this? Does that mean I don't get him? And yeah, no, okay, so it's a him, and yeah, it absolutely means that companion is dead to you.
To you.
Yep.
But like I said, I knew going into it what I was going to do, and that's the taste. And then obviously, I think anybody playing the game, something unavoidable if you're playing as a Dark Urge character is you kick the shit out of a squirrel and splatter it all over a tree. And there is no player control over that. If you interact with that squirrel, you are booting it. Period.
It happens, and you're just like, well, there it is.
Yeah, there's no option.
It's always a fun scene.
God bless game developers.
Oh, is that squirrel voiced by your friend Matt?
It is not, and that is a very thing that gets brought up to her all the time at conventions.
Okay.
And they're like, "Oh, kick the squirrel," and she's like, "Wrong squirrel." There's even a whole like tax thing they did, and if you even had to give them money if you brought that up to them. And they had a charity for it. They all went to War Child. So,
is there a wrong squirrel T-shirt?
I hope they would make one. We should make one.
I was about to say, I think our brand just thought of one of our very first merchandising opportunities here. Wrong squirrel.
Yep. Wrong squirrel. So, did the friend you're talking about? Did he voice a different squirrel?
She is the voice of one of the squirrels, and at the area where you meet one of the bards in the game.
Okay.
And
so the same game.
People would bring same game.
Wrong squirrel. Got it.
Yep.
That could work too. Right game, wrong squirrel.
Yeah, love it. Noting
yes.
it. I don't know what kind of copyright we'll be facing on that situation, but we can poke around at it for sure.
All right.
How about your nerdy thing for the week, Matt or AJ?
Okay. I started a new run on Pokemon Leaf Green on my Switch since it came on the Virtual Console. Then looking to start a new Baldur's Gate run here shortly. Of course, the con, obviously. Ended up getting a One Piece t-shirt that I'm currently wearing. So getting some nerd swag.
I think I need to give One Piece a chance. Both the anime and the live action. You and your dad talking about it made me more interested than I have been. Even though it's anime pirates, that just seems like it would be right up my alley. So
yeah, it's like it's your thing. Where I might start the anime because I'm up in the house for another couple of weeks with the broken legs. So
yeah, what else you do?
Like, I can watch 31 seasons of an anime.
That's
yeah.
How I watched Dragon Ball Z. I just watched straight through.
Well, I feel like you'd have to never turn One Piece off, right? Like, how many episodes are we talking? What'd you just say?
It's 31 seasons. I think it's like 1,000. No, it's not 1,000 episodes.
It might to 1,000 episodes. Might be over it now. I know Will and I have talked about this. It's a ton.
1,155 episodes.
Yeah.
If you watch if you watch it continuously, I think it's like a week long. But if you take breaks, I think you could do it.
Maybe we have.
I could do it. I don't know.
Maybe we have a pod.
On your sleep breaks with the filler episodes.
That's it, and just wake back up a pod watch through of One Piece.
Yeah, I think that would garner plenty of views. Oh, what are they doing now?
Talk about
still watching One Piece. Got it.
Just put it on Twitch, reacting to One Piece as we watch through 31 seasons.
All right, sign us up.
I'm sick that week, but sick where I can't be anywhere near a computer or a TV.
Yeah, the blue light got you, like blue light migraine.
I should have been wearing the blue light glasses. So what about you, AJ? What was your nerdy thing for the week?
I was going to talk specifically about the con, but y'all all had like niche things cool things to talk about. So my outside of the con, I started listening to Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion podcast Once We Were Spacemen. Adore it because if you like either of them, it's just them hanging out and being silly, and talking mostly about Firefly among their many other projects. And I started that because of Fillion going around doing the clips, uh, is it time clips with all the Firefly cast, teasing the reboot.
Yeah.
So it's perfect timing for that. I started that right about the time he was doing that, and then they finished all of that with the announcement for the animated show that they're doing. So really excited about that. Cody, have you Fireflied? Fireflew, maybe?
I'm not sure
Firefly.
that I finished. I mean, it's just the one season. I think I finished it, but I definitely need to rewatch it because I don't remember. I know I really liked it.
Yeah, it's the perfect vibe. I just lived in space, scoundrels, funny, quippy, you know. Yeah, so excited for that to come out. And the nerdiest thing I did this week was meet a great hero of mine, the best Power Ranger to have ever been a Power Ranger, Austin St. John, the original Red Ranger. And just that's one of the things about these cons, man, is you, they're just humans, but my gosh, am I not a 5-year-old when I look at that person, And the perfect, light smiles down upon me, as you guys know, and Kent and I were walking out of the celebrity room, and who walked out right behind us? The Red Power Ranger. I looked over Kent's shoulder and said, "Holy fuck, that's the Red Power Ranger." And so then he and I walked from there up a 2-story elevator out to basically I walked into the parking lot, and he wanted every second of it. Okay. But yeah, he was a wonderful human being. Don't meet your heroes, but you can meet that particular Power Ranger if you'd like, because he was delightful, and hopefully,
He was very
obviously,
gracious
he'll
with
remember
his time.
forever and all time. Absolutely gracious with his time, and hopefully, we can talk him into being even more gracious with his time and visiting with us here in the future, because he was really open about some behind the scene things that happened during that show back in the 90s. He mentioned a new project that he's got coming out, that he's got a coffee line coming out. So he can come promote to the maybe 1 or 2 followers that we end up getting.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't
It'll
buy
really grow
publicity
his
like that because you
base.
wouldn't want to.
No publicity is bad publicity unless it's zero publicity.
Yeah.
Or whatever the saying is.
That is in fact not publicity. So that is no publicity.
That is nothing, I believe they would say.
Well, and AJ, what you were just saying was it kind of leads into the one question I wanted to ask everybody, because you met a lot of people. I'm not going to ask you who your favorite person to meet is, because that's not a cool thing to ask. But I did want to ask what your favorite conversation was, or what your favorite conversation was about, either with somebody you met or with each other, that was kind of spurned by the environment you were in.
Go ahead and take this one, Matt, to start off, because I've got a few.
Okay. I had a couple of good interactions with the Baldur's Gate crew. A lot of them saw me, who knew me. Like, I was in the back of the line in the wheelchair, broken leg, and Dev from the back of the line goes, "Matt, what happened?" And then I get pulled exactly up to the front, and then I kind of talk to her about the wreck and everything that's been going on recently. Part of that, I really enjoyed getting to watch Kent meet Dev. That was real fun. I'll let him talk about that probably. But we had a good kind of time at our photo op, because we were waiting for Maggie to come join the photo. So I really got to see them kind of just hanging out. And Neil Newman, who's the voice of Asarian, was talking to me, asking about my recovery and all that stuff. As we're just hanging out there, we watch a film a TikTok, which is posted on Dev's TikTok now. So I just kind of got to see a lot of just them outside of it. It was a good time.
They nailed it in the first take.
So that's
And why is that, Matt?
one take.
Because
they are
they're fucking
professionals.
professionals.
All right, Kent,
So
How about you, Kenyatta?
what
Who'd you
was
talk to?
Matt's already brushed upon it, and I don't have enough words to do it justice. But meeting Devora Wild, voice of Lae'zel, and many other things. But my biggest exposure is of Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate 3, and she was delightful. I was a silly little muttering fool. Matt says it didn't go as poorly as I recall it, but I recall it basically but she's incredibly personable, very gracious with her time. Her knowing Matt and talking with him just like an old friend, very cool to see while I was just fanboying so hard. Um, she definitely asked me some questions about the game, which I answered, but I don't know exactly what I said because words were coming out of my mouth, but my brain was just like, "Holy shit, this is her." Uh, it was awesome. It was very surreal. And she was lovely. The whole cast was lovely. I didn't really get to talk to them like Matt did, but getting a group photo with them and waiting and seeing them all kind of interact was very cool. They all seemed to really enjoy each other's company, very relaxed. They were very kind to everybody I saw them interact with, as were all the celebrities there that I saw. It was very neat. But I will say I had a favorite. Now, to be fair, I really only met the one celebrity, but yeah, Dev, all day, every day. Hope she watches this. Hope she sees that I can form regular sentences sometimes.
good time.
But that was kind of my favorite part of all of it, was just kind of watching Kent be conned for the first time, and honestly not really expecting him to fall as in love as he did. But I do believe that by the time we were leaving there, you got bit by the con bug, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if Dev will be there. I'll be at every one she's at.
Yeah, I definitely thought you meant in love with her, not cons, but both is fine.
Yeah.
No wrong answer there. Yes,
I've
to
got
both.
two more. I got two more interactions I thought about. There were really, or three actually. Met Giancarlo Esposito. He was awesome. It was one of those things. He had a large like waiting queue area, so it's really inconvenient for the wheelchair. So they actually pulled me off to the side, and he actually came across from where he normally signed at to kind of sign and talk to me for a little bit, which was really cool. We also kind of got to go in front Tamara Morrison's line too, and got to speak to him, and that was a pretty cool experience as well. And something similar happened with Deborah and Wall. Similar scenario where I was just like, they were like made accommodations, the talent management team and that professionals, the actors, to accommodate me in the chair, which was really, really nice. Because Rupp wasn't the most ADA friendly of places, but it was nice to see some of the talent kind of and their management kind of offset that. So
That's
Yeah, that was,
honestly not surprising that they are gracious about that kind of thing too.
and that was like basically our only hang up all weekend too, was that Rupp itself was just not necessarily built for, I mean, maybe even that, like, I don't know, structure of an event, but definitely when it comes to wheelchair access and ADA things. Not that we found anyway, and I think that we tried, you know.
yeah, but the main entrances they were having us use were not. But once you got in, it was fine. But like getting out and getting in, there one set of doors, like the main set of doors you had to get into, was kind of like, you have to hit it right at the right angle. Everything's got to be lined up for it to go through, or else it was like a test to get through.
Yeah,
But then
just a
once
lot
you
of
were in, it
shoving,
was kind
a lot of shoving, a lot of lifting, a lot of cussing.
yeah.
But then by the third day, our third and final day there, we figured it out and hit at least going in perfectly.
Yep.
But even that first day, getting in and getting the passes and having such the small, twisty, turvy. Like we can't let at least this guy roll up to the front and get the badges for everybody else, you know?
Yeah, and when I asked about ADA accommodations, they were like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
no."
She said there's
So-
an elevator over there. And okay.
Just like,
all right, great.
yep. But that was really the only downside I think of the con. Everything else was fantastic. It was a great time.
Yeah, you could tell by the conversation after and the pictures, but I could just tell that you all enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was definitely a great first con for the pod, like for the pod to travel to. I think we all talked a little bit about recording more, reaching out for press passes and things like that to be more comfortable in our recordings. We have some food reviews coming under the Carnivore moniker. I actually liked what we have coming, but I think that there could be a lot more interaction overall with that. And soon to come, a drink counter.
Yeah, if we keep track of it, we're gonna need to get them a step counter thing so you can just click every time.
Yep. If I go, when I do go, I want to try to match you, but I think maybe it's going to be like a hot dog for every beer you have, something like that.
That's
it would
fun.
be
That's a fun
ridiculous.
Be
challenge.
careful, Cody.
Yeah.
You'd be hitting,
a lot of hot
you'd be hitting
dogs.
chestnut numbers.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Getting those
I mean,
Joey
even on my
Chestnut numbers.
Yeah, even on my low end day, we're talking at least 10 hot dogs.
10's no problem. You know me. 10's
No, yeah, well,
easy.
I actually think that your hot dog consumption, or maybe we even find something else that you really enjoy. I think that you can get. I think it's an interesting challenge. I think you can definitely get pretty close to matching.
Yeah, I've told you, especially after the bodybuilding experience, which just broke my hunger and fullness hormones. Yeah, I could just literally eat all day. My body doesn't like it, but my brain doesn't know. So
Well, I do believe our plan from here on out will have a built-in recovery day at least. Because this is 2 for 2 cons that I've come back not in fantastic working condition. For one reason or the other. You know, I think the last time had a lot to do with the con crud, but I also could have used a drink counter that time too. But they had this great mule at Lexington. I couldn't stop drinking it. It was $12 for that or $12 for a beer. And as much as I love my Modelo's, I couldn't help but drink Maker's Mark mules. Aside from one of those, I enjoyed every single one.
it does make sense that they would have mules being in Kentucky and everything.
Yeah, because all the mule races.
Yeah,
Yep, that's it.
they race mules there.
Yeah. So let's see what else happened at the con that was we got a lot of we talked to a lot of people, just vendors and all sorts of like artists and people at the cons, and that was a fun experience just trying to meet and mingle with everyone there. We ended up becoming friends. We ended up separately becoming friends with 2 artists whose booths happened to be right beside each other. So that was a pretty funny situation. And then it was just like, oh,
I know you mentioned AJ bringing home some Power Rangers gear. What did everybody end up bringing home if you brought home something?
Okay. Let me at least show you my poster.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's Austin's signature there. And then the artist, our artist buddy Cyrus also signed this. Hopefully he and his wife Amber will be a guest on the show here in the next couple weeks. It was actually
Cyrus's art.
Yeah, Cyrus's art. And what happened was after I wasn't really planning on paying for an autograph or anything. I just kind of wanted to walk around and see the celebrities and be like, oh, look, holy shit, there's the Red Ranger. Because again, you and I have talked a bunch about seeing Walter Jones, the original Black Ranger, and Ray Park, the original Darth Maul. and just be like looking across the room and being like, I mean, I know they're just guys, but they're like really cool character guys, you know?
Yeah.
And I saw Austin and thought that's pretty cool because like literally Power Rangers was a huge thing for me when I was 5, 6, 7 or whatever. And the Red Ranger was always my favorite. And so to see him, it was really neat. I hadn't planned on actually going to meet him until we just happened to meet each other. And I was like, he's so god dang gracious with his time. I purchased a smaller version of that poster, just like a baseball card size. And I planned on just getting him to sign that. But then after like, just how gracious he was walking out, I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to get something bigger. I need something bigger. And so I got that, and then Cyrus was actually kind enough to give me another baseball card that he signed, and I gave to Austin. So yeah, I don't know that I'll be a consistent autograph guy, but that was a cool one to have. I may very specifically collect like I don't know, just the really really cool ones to me personally, like things that I think are, you know.
You try to
Because
get
again,
all the
Jason was
Power
just so badass.
all the ones who are still around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I will do that. David Yost, the Blue Ranger, was there. I don't know, I've got a little bit of loyalty to the red, black, and yellow after the separation during the show. You know, that's another story for another time. But after talking to Austin, and Austin being so cool, and he and I actually talked about the situation where contracts split the team, and him again just being so kind, so open. He was not negative. I mean, what was cool about talking to him was that for me being 5 and looking up to them, they were, you know, to me, just so much older. But then, like, Key and I have been watching, my 6-year-old and I have been watching, and they're like closer to her age than they are to my age, you know? And so just watching them, and I told him, I was like, and you guys were babies. And he was the youngest one on the show. And just like seeing all that, you know? So for him to be able to look back on it and be like, yeah, the contract situation sucked, but like he understood. And but anyway, I still felt loyalty to them, so I walked by David Yost and just like, ugh, Billy. I don't think he saw me.
He probably not.
Or he saw me and he's like, why is that guy smoldering at me? Because I was like partially angry, but also like, I like Billy too, you know. Anyway, so to say all that, I will probably try and get all the Power Rangers that are still with us autographs at some point. Amy Jo Johnson, Pink Ranger, is at Huntsville. So if we make that happen, then I'm just going to linger outside until she walks out.
Exactly.
Kent, were you picking something up over there?
I did. I was looking for our friend Cyrus and Amber art, but I gave all that away to Will already. I'll try and get it from him some other time that he's not already asleep. But this is a time to where Matt can plug his friend.
Yeah, so this is art from a friend of mine that I met in Rhode Island. She's an artist, does a lot of Baldur's Gate art. Her name is Jessica, or Blood Oath Lilith on Instagram. She said she wanted to come on the pod, tell us about all the con experiences she's had. At one point, we'll have her on, and you can see her artwork is fantastic. I ended up picking up a lot of stuff from her. I already have stuff from her. But she was right next to Cyrus's booth, and it was kind of funny that when AJ's like, hey, come see my friend, we pull up and we're literally at the booth next to my friend. But yeah, we'll have, she was pretty enthusiastic when I talked to her yesterday about coming on. So we'll definitely do that. But yeah, I ended up doing getting a lot of things. I can't go in there and get them all, but I think it was like 11 autographs. From different people, just to shoot off the list. Dev, Neil, Aggie, Tim, all from Baldur's Gate. I met Doug Cockle, who's the voice actor for The Witcher in the games. He's the voice actor for Geralt, and he's also in Baldur's Gate 3. Giancarlo Esposito, Mara Morrison, Abraham Wall. Kind of talked about those a little earlier. And then I met the voice actor for Darth Revan, Reno. He was really cool. And then Eric Stewart, the voice actor for Kaiba from the Yu-Gi-Oh! English dub. I met him. And then I got a lot of art from Jessica and Cyrus. So I got a couple different things, mostly Baldur's Gate stuff from Jessica, and then from Cyrus, I got 2 Darth Maul prints that are awesome, but they're in another room, and I'm not going to wheel in there and get those to show. And then I also bought Shadowheart's spear from Baldur's Gate 3 and carry that around a little bit. So that was really
And
cool.
we should definitely share pictures of anything y'all want to share on Instagram. I know we need to get that started, and I can move that along if you want me to, but definitely want to share some of the cool shit. So
Yeah, so I got pictures of all that stuff. So some of it's linked on my Instagram. I also got a picture with me and my buddy Mitch, and got a picture with Christopher Lloyd, so Doc Brown. So
I
that was
saw
real
that.
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome that he's still doing that.
Yeah, it was. It was really cool. He was nice.
He seems to be on a trek right now. I think that he might be at Huntsville or he might be at Birmingham. He's at something else.
I think maybe he is at Birmingham. They announced somebody in the last couple of days, and it seems like it very well might be Christopher Lloyd.
Well, and he was at DragonCon last year, and then I'm sure that he's pegged some in between, and then hit Lexington, and now whichever one he's coming to down here. Hard working man, traveling. He also may be from the South. Maybe he's not traveling that much.
No idea.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be at Huntsville. They announced it for Huntsville. They also announced Tamara Morrison for Huntsville today. So good meet. He's really nice.
Yeah, he's very kind.
That's Boba Fett
I got a
from
fist bump with him.
Episode 2 and the book of getting fisted by the stars, Kenyatta.
Yeah, of course I'm getting fisted by Jango
I'm following the
Yeah, I did say Boba for
that.
episode 2. Django for Boba, or for episode 2. That will be cut out. We'll be cutting that out.
Tom Welling is at the Huntsville one.
Yeah, the Huntsville.
Cody, I would love to meet Tom Welling with you. That would be nostalgic. That would be right up there with Jason, Austin St. John.
Mm. Yeah. Clark Kent from Smallville.
So we kind of recapped Lexington for a good amount of what we did at the con.
Look at this. Look at
Anything else
old
you want to talk about?
Kenyatta.
Oh yeah.
Look. I mean, they're all cool, but look who Kenyatta's standing next to.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, I was about to say Matt. Yeah,
The MVP of the conference, Matt, of course.
Yeah. Well, and he is. Matt
he is the connoisseur.
The bankroller for this particular adventure right now, and he is the connoisseur, and without his leadership, I don't know that any of these things would be as fun as they are. So cheers to you, my brother. Also, cheers to my father-in-law, Mark Hodges. That was an addition to that particular trip that I've told everybody was my favorite. I don't know if, Cody, you're aware of this, but me and Mark Hodges are both major shit talkers, and that's what we spent the majority of the weekend doing, and it was a blast. He also drove the whole time, so that's MVP Junior, I guess.
Yeah. I wasn't following the Huntsville one just by accident. I've only been following the Birmingham one, but the lineup, there are several people on there who just pop up as nostalgic figures. Judith Hogue, April from the original TMNT, Tom Welling, Christopher Lloyd, like we said, Jason Marsden, who is Goofy's son Max, and those. He was also Eric's best friend for like a season and a half in Boy Meets World, and then just never saw him again. But he's been in a bunch of things. Did a lot of voice acting. Yeah, cool guffs.
Yeah, I'm hoping to meet Matt Lanter finally at that con. We've missed each other. I was supposed to meet him in Denver, and then he wasn't able to be there. And then I was supposed to meet him in Phoenix and broke my leg and missed that one. So he's supposed to be at Huntsville, so hopefully I finally get to meet him. He's the voice of Anakin in the Clone Wars. So I'm just like, maybe finally I can meet him and round out that trio.
That one would be big also. I may have to tag along for your meetings on that one. Yeah. Instead of Kent stealing all the meeting glory.
You could have.
Yes.
I really appreciate Kent pushing me around the con as much as he did. It was really, really nice. It's a good time for me.
Anytime.
Yeah, what's the word on Huntsville? I know you mentioned it when we were in the truck the other day. When is that one? What's your recovery looking like by then? Is Kent pushing you around another con?
There's a good chance that he is pushing me around another con. Huntsville is right before my 6-week mark. I'll know a little bit more come next Monday, because I'll go to the doctor again and get x-rays and they'll get a new cast. But just depending on what he says then, because I think the 21st is my day of, hey, you should be, if everything went exactly as it's supposed to do and 100% healed, that would be, hey, you're in a boot now and you can walk, which maybe walking some in the wheelchair a little bit after that. But
It's probably not the best way to break it in is by doing a whole con on it.
yeah, probably not a good idea.
It's April 17th. That's when the Huntsville one is.
It is something that I'm planning on doing. So,
And then Birmingham's May,
it is. Yep.
Yeah.
in the end of May.
Yeah, it's usually like May 30th.
Strap in, boys.
Yeah, I'll go to that
Depending
one.
on. Okay. Yeah, that one's gonna be nice because I won't have to spend hundreds of dollars on hotel rooms.
Yeah, it would
Or
it would be
food.
perfect. It would actually be perfect if I got the call while I was there because it's like 5 minutes to UAB from the BJCC.
That'd be great. That'd be great for the
Yeah,
pod too.
I'm already here. I've thought
The
about
pod
it
goes to a
because
heart surgery.
I've actually thought about it already because Iron City is one of my favorite venues. You can walk from there to Kirkland Clinic where I've been a million times. So if I go to a concert there, it could work out too. Unlikely,
Especially a really
impossible.
exciting concert.
Yeah.
That's something I'm excited about Birmingham too, though, outside of our convenient hospital reach, is actually knowing like a lot of places to go. And because Matt took us to a couple of different outside restaurants from the con, that we failed on food review for the late night dinners, because Kent was being too silly is the thing. Kent got out of control, and we had to focus on just staying upright in our chairs. But in Birmingham, we know a lot of these restaurants, so we can go
we
in
got
with a
plenty
little bit
of
of a plan. Yeah.
Yeah, we went barbecue heavy on this last con. We went Hawaiian barbecue the first night, Korean barbecue the second night, and then regular American barbecue on the third final leg of the trip. So it's a good time.
And I don't know which one of those hit harder for me. I think the hot pot was
That wasn't that hot for you.
Had it been hot, yeah, Cody. So it's 4 of us at a
The
table.
lukewarm pot.
Yeah, everybody else had a hot pot. I had a room temperature pot, and I had again been chasing those racing mules all day.
Why do any of
And-
you have pots at all? I don't understand.
It's like cook for yourself, like in situations. So there's
Gotcha.
a grill in the middle, and then you have pots with singular eyes, and you choose your broth, you choose your noodle, you choose your meats, and then you cook it. Or if Kent and Matt and Mark cooked, and I soaked,
So yours
dipped
just
it.
wasn't working.
Yeah,
It
and it
just
took
wasn't
me a
working
second.
out?
Yeah, it took me a second because I was again chasing the mules. Got there, couldn't hear. Poor Kent. I was asking him like, "What the fuck am I doing? What is going on?"
This
Eventually-
could have been the greatest food review.
Yeah, I regret missing out on it badly. But also, if you could have seen how much of a shit show that I was in that
Well,
moment.
that's what I mean. That would be perfect.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, next time I'll be.
needed a whole camera on the whole table watching us figure this
Yeah.
fucking thing out.
Yeah, yeah. Our
Yeah,
server
more
wasn't real
pointy.
thrilled. It was, it was just a lot going on. The first piece of meat I put in my mouth, I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's got to be pretty high grade or flesh. I'm sure that I can't get sick off of this. They wouldn't just give me something I get sick off of, so fuck it. But I looked over at Kent's, and his was just a rolling boil. And I looked at Mark and Matt's, and theirs were equally just hitting it. And I looked down at mine, and it's cold soup. So then I started looking at Kent's pot and trying to see what his lights were doing, and just Kent and I started pressing buttons until we figured out we matched the lights. And then it was too hot. Honestly, I burned my tongue a lot.
Okay.
Overall
Well,
experience, like a 4, but the food was an 11.
I'm glad you eventually got it cooked.
If we all
Me
are.
too. I was really concerned about what the stomach the next day was going to be like. So
Yeah, maybe we can. They don't serve alcohol at the Birmingham one, or I'd say we can start the drink hot dog counter. But I should probably wait until after the procedure to start doing that stuff.
Yeah, you shouldn't down that many dogs till you have that
What if I got the call and they're like, "Sir, your stomach is distended." Yeah, I ate 14 hot dogs.
14 hot
Well,
dogs.
we're gonna
I was in the
go
middle
in-
of a 15th.
day to be a dog.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea, because I feel like most surgeries, you're either, if you're scheduled, it's don't eat anything before. If it's emergency, it's have you eaten anything today? And where the last surgery I had was had you eaten anything today? I was like, yeah, like 1 powdered donut. Yours would be 17 hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And different
I had
toppings every
double-
time too. I can't imagine.
I had double-digit hot dogs. All right, wake me up in 16 hours. That is actually one of the
It is what
things
it
that
is, Doc.
people, because not to get into too many details, but I'll be on immunosuppressants, which increase your appetite for most people. At least the corticosteroids do. And you have to go close to a full day without eating just to do the procedure. So people do wake up really hungry. Maybe I should eat 17 hot dogs before.
Yeah, it's prep. This was prep, Doc.
First ever.
I did my research.
The first ever to throw up during a transplant procedure.
What was this guy in here for? Oh, well, he's an extremely healthy individual, so
No, this
The
isn't
reign of
related to the hot
1,000
dog.
glizzies.
pump his stomach. No, that's not it.
Have y'all seen? I know at least AJ. I think we've talked about it before, but I think you should leave when he's just trying to eat hot dogs out of his sleeve because they're having a meeting during lunch. I can't skip lunch. And then there's another episode that comes off of that one that's like the next season, and he's invented a device that sucks hot dogs out of your throat if you choke on them. Oh, I love that show.
We should maybe
funny that you bring
purchase
that
the
up,
hot
Cody.
dog
That came
sucker
up,
out of one's throat.
We did talk about that show a lot. I watched it as one of my shows I binged when I was sitting at home.
Yeah. My only complaint about it is that there aren't enough episodes because they're really short. It's like 7 or 8 per season, so it's 2 full seasons and maybe 2 hours total of content, but I'm laughing pretty much from start to finish with that show.
Yeah, I just love absurd humor. So that
It's such a unique kind of absurd humor for Tim Robinson too. Just I can't explain why it's so funny. All right, y'all want to wrap this one up? Or
I will say that we will link anybody that we discussed down here earlier. There are a couple of other artists that we talked to and purchased from. One specific that I talked to a good bit, his name was Andrew. He did oil pastels, and if I remember correctly, he talked about falling in love with those early on in, there's one of his works.
Yes.
Cody, I got you a thank you for watching the dog gift from him as well. But I will link him. I meant to have all of our business cards sitting over here so I could kind of read off who all we did. But we'll link all of the guys we talked about, guys and girls we talked about. And hopefully we'll see a lot of these people on the pod here in the next coming weeks. So
most definitely.
sounds good. Looking forward to virtually meeting some people.
well, and that's what we want out of this is the celebration of the con culture and how inclusive everything feels and how friendly everybody is and how everybody wants to support everybody. And one of the major contributing factors for that for me is meeting these people who are making a living, not the celebrities downstairs, but making a living off their own art. And so I think our first lineup of guests will probably be a lot of those people, the vendors that show up, because they're who we can relate to most, obviously, too. And this is their living. You know, they go to these things and sell their work, and I think that's a cool way to live. So I'm interested in talking to them more about their experiences.
I
Me
agree.
too.
Yes, same. It was
All right, guys.
it was very cool to be there with the connoisseur himself and AJ, who's just a personality. So there were no strangers. Matt either legitimately knew them or AJ acted as if he did, and everybody was like, yeah, like responding to the energy. It was good.
It's
Yeah,
the mules.
I think the three of you too, and I know it wasn't just the three of you. You had your dad, and then did you have one other friend there too?
Yeah, I had my buddy Mitch, who
Who we also
gotta
hope
get
to
on the
have
pod
on.
too.
Mitch is, yeah, he's a beautiful human, man. Like, we only spent a few hours with him, but Kent and I both fell head over heels. He's super sweet guy.
Just a sweetheart, lovely human being. Yeah, and I guess a shout out to our one
Really is.
con night friend, Lucia. If she ever watches this, we remember you. Sorry to big boy you at the door. I had my hands full.
Did you big boy her at the door?
Me and Mark were walking in, and then I don't know if she recognized me, but I recognized her. I was like, "Oh, hey!" But Mark had gotten up ahead of me and was standing like in the queue line, waiting for me to catch up. So I kind of had to, catch back up with him. But then we were moving really slowly, so then she passed us again, and I just kind of went "Nyeh," and let her keep walking, and that was the end of that. So I'm not a
To be
smooth
fair,
man.
at the time that we
If
met,
anybody sees this show and then sees me at cons, as unsmooth as I am here, it's 10 times worse out in public. That might be underselling, 100 times worse.
I can relate. All right. Well, I guess we'll do this again in 1 to 4 weeks. Hopefully not 4 weeks.